Today's conversation is something I feel very strongly about because this has changed every area of my life. It's changed business, it's changed wellness, relationships, and my growth as a leader. Today, we're going to talk about the power of coaching. It's not trendy. It's not hiring a coach just to have one. It's making sure that you are grounded in efficiency and strategy in a way that's going to produce outcomes that elevate you. What I've learned both professionally and personally is that you can do it alone. I've done it. I've felt like I needed to. As a business owner, as a mom, as a woman entrepreneur, sometimes we put this pressure on ourselves that we're weak if we don't ask for help. We're weak if we do ask for help. We need to do it all on ourselves. That shows strength, that shows confidence, that shows we're capable. You can find these answers on your own, but in the long run, it's going to cost you more time. It's going to cost you more money. It's going to cost you more energy. My goal is to help you to break down what areas of your life that coaching can be valuable and what you need to do to take action next. So as a high-achieving business owner and a female, I realize that coaching can be so invaluable. We're noticing that we're giving to everybody. We're showing up in all the right places. We're close to these topics. We're so knowledgeable, but sometimes too knowledgeable. We want to have the opportunity with someone being able to hold us accountable, to identify things that maybe we're overlooking because we're so busy, head down, focused, driven, motivated to get the tasks done for everybody else. I personally just hired a coach myself because I want to make sure someone's holding me accountable on top of all I'm providing for everybody else. In the past, this was really difficult for me. I felt like I know these things, so why do I need someone else? And to be honest, although I had the knowledge, there's always an opportunity for growth. There's more than one way to do anything. And when we stay in this small, isolated space, we're missing the opportunities to elevate even more. When seeking a coach, it's really important to understand that this is not someone else controlling you. It's alignment. They want to make sure that you are overcoming hurdles, not having challenges that allow you to have a space to give up and not be challenged. There's steps in order to do anything, whether it's wellness or business. It has to go in order. You can't drive the biggest outcome without the knowledge of the, core foundational things. And so same as in wellness, I'm thinking about a few examples. This is where my brain is going right now, is a few examples of my own personal health, my own personal business, and when I'm coaching others, and a patient that recently came to me that has tried all of the things to heal their gut, and they're not growing, they're not absorbing, and they're really, really frustrated and defeated. And so we hit different stages of all of these different environments where we second guess, we question, we have ability to give up. We might be discouraged, and we need that push, that growth, that accountability that is going to give us the opportunity to overcome those comfort spaces that don't drive the outcomes, or that discouraging space and those thoughts that we've been always reliant on in the past that has given us permission to give up on those next steps. Not everything is easy. We have to have these opportunities to witness that with growth comes challenges, and it might be uncomfortable before it gets comfortable. And so having a coach will align you with someone else to see you differently. So as a business owner, unless you're surrounding yourself with other businesses who are above where you are, you're going to be comfortable and complacent thinking that that's all that you can achieve. But when you surround yourself with other business owners who have driven it to another level, who have taken risk, who have made mistakes, who have learned from them, they can help you to navigate that space, and they can make sure that you are either going to save time, save money, and have less of those hiccups. You have to experience it yourself as an independent. You really need to make sure you're driving this communication that makes it clear to your passions, to your goals, because although there's consistency in coaching, there's also tailored spaces where you need to make sure that you are getting the result that's going to be implemented in your space. What I do in my office and others do in theirs is never exactly the same. There's some overlap. There's definitely some spaces where, there's consistency, but I want to make sure that their specific clients have their needs met. When I think about wellness, everyone's in a different space. Some people, we're identifying where the risk is, and we need to make sure that we're removing any of the triggers of inflammation, the autoimmune responses. We're healing first, and then we're challenging to grow and heal and, to have those next steps of recovery and repair. When you're going through all of that, if you're just willy-nilly focusing on random supplements and trying this, maybe they are great, but if they're out of order, you're going to waste this time. I've done it. I removed dairy and gluten out of my life for a whole year. No improvement because there was no testing and no coaching and no strategy and no ability for someone to help navigate me into these outcomes that took me a decade to learn. We're inundated with social media, recommendations, the new best thing, making sure that people understand there's different levels of supplements, there's different orders to do them in. You really want to start top down, making sure that different functions in the body are optimal before you start to push. And so this is why I see over and over and over again people saying, oh my gosh, I'm purging and getting acne I never had, or I need a nap, I have no energy. Their body's trying to push out things that their liver and gut are not ready to do. We want to make sure that having the coaching helps them realize that although these things may not be bad, they're not ready for them yet. And so, yes, they are wasting a lot of money. They're buying stuff that feels comfortable and that someone else that maybe looks the way they want to look is buying, but they are not the same people. What this person has experienced versus what that person online has experienced almost never align. Lifestyle plays a factor, surgeries, stressors, sleep, recovery, your baseline genetics, all of these are going to factor in when we're deciding whether or not these supplements are good for you. You might not be getting anything bad or harmful, but it might not be efficient. I always use this analogy where people are, foot soaking right out of the gate. Yes, you're removing detox and, you're removing toxins by doing that. But if every cell in your body is inflamed, those results are not going to last. How much time did it take you to do that foot soak? Did you book the appointment? How much did you pay for it? We want it to last longer and come out better. So if you would have just done a few of these other steps that you were coached in and then done the foot soak, you would have gotten that optimal outcome and it would have lasted longer. This in return saves you time, saves you money, and allows you to do it less frequently because you're going to get more out of it. Why coaching in business matters. We come into this conversation on time and time again, and this is where Powell Precision Playbook came from. I noticed over and over and over again, people were asking me, how did you get here? And it was not painful. I made so many mistakes. I have grown over the last 12 years as a provider, as a leader, as a business owner, and it came with repetition. It came with coaching. Every single week, I learned how to run my business. I had no problem being at the bedside and taking care of people. That came naturally to me. That was because I've been a nurse for 22 years. I've been at the bedside in every trauma. So doing stuff in here was a breeze in some ways, but running the business as a whole, leading a team, finding the right team, having strategy with pricing and packages and pathways and promoting these things in a way that built confidence in my patients was all learned skills. And I got this through coaching. It was so many painful mistakes, loss of revenue, different money changes throughout this entire economy change. We have seen ebbs and flows of the economy and people try to panic. But in Powell Studio, we know with confidence our pricing is on point because we do it strategically. We look at how much time that does this take to provide this service to someone and how much does it cost a product. It's very simple, very basic, and people struggle with this. I see them just randomly pricing, but not really knowing what revenue they're driving. When you don't know these answers, you can't make decisions confidently. You can't recommend confidently to your next patient that they should do a certain thing and how much you should charge for it. If you know that you need this much time to give someone a beautiful outcome, you need to give them that much time or else they're not going to get the outcome and they're going to go to the next office not understanding where the deficit was. When I coach someone through Powell Precision Playbook, we are taking step-by-step 5 weeks in a row to break down this business and build it up to the foundation that leads to growth without question. We want to make sure that their pricing is there. We want to make sure that their goals are in alignment. We want to make sure not only the goals for now, but long-term are being thought about. Make sure that in business that you have coaches who are doing what you actually want. We kid about this a lot, and not to knock any business school, but check with your professor. Did they ever run a business? As I've navigated throughout the years, I originally surrounded myself with like-minded people, nurses, medical providers. We're used to giving everything for nothing. We're used to not understanding the billing and the implementation. We want to make sure that the patient feels loved and cared for and is safe. But now that I look at healthcare as a whole and I see what's delivering the outcomes people look for, I hear every day, my doctor never did this for me. Well, let's think about this for a quick second. They have to see 30 to 40 people a day. They're getting reimbursed through insurance companies that try and nickel and dime them every single day. But then I'll hear, how come that's so expensive, Jen? Well, in order to deliver that beautiful outcome, I can see 6 to 10 people a day. I'm making sure I'm working on your plan after hours to make sure that you have outcomes and you are there supported with a team, a staff that can give you every answer along every part of your journey to make sure that we're delivering those outcomes without question. When people think about investing in coaching, they think about the expense only. But what I want you to think about is the investment and the cost of delay, the cost of staying stuck, and the cost of mistakes. This is always going to cost more. Investing in a coach doesn't align with them doing everything for you. A good coach, which you need to know how to pick the right one, is going to align with you. They're going to push you to navigate how you can do this independently. When I worked with coaches in the past, I did great when I was on a strict, regimented schedule. Then they left me to maintain it on my own without the skills in tow. I messed it up every time. So at Powell Studio, whether it's our Powell Precision Pathway, our Powell Performance Playbook, any of these different spaces that you're going to be in, we want to make sure not only do you understand why we're making recommendations, do they align with what feels authentic and passion driven for you, but how do you maintain them when we're done working together? Identifying where we're stuck, what challenges we're repeating, and how we can get to the other side of them comes with identifying who has already achieved these things. We want to make sure that when we're looking at business, wellness, relationships, that we're identifying who are these people. For me this year, most often I'm watching at Fitness Dane. I'm paying attention to his wellness programs and how they complement. They're in alignment with me, but they're pushing me to another level to think differently and to know the importance of educating my patients and my friends and my family on this level, and because it's relatable. When I watch Alex Hormozi, it could be online or attending his Las Vegas strategy sessions to build my business and to surround myself with other business owners who are far ahead of where I am, but maybe have different goals and can look at my business as a whole and create resolution as fast as possible. I'm following him on social media. I'm investing in his books and everything that he has taken decades to create. And then I have KLC Consulting. Kaylee Lindholm is a master of her craft. She, as well, wants to live that life-business balance. I don't know how achievable that is for everybody, but she's going to push you to a limit where you can identify strategies, systems, the right team, the right processes, and identify pathways that are going to bring you to a business that you can be proud of. And it doesn't run you, you run it. Over my last 22 years in nursing, 12 years in business, I have attended countless educational opportunities, conferences, trainings I've invested in strategically, online modules, certifications, trainings, pushed to the next level of my degree in education. And I am taking everything that I have had the opportunity to learn and to bring strategy, to bring organization, to bring empowerment to you, not to me. I want to make sure that you don't have to waste the time, the years, and the investment that I have had to in order to bring the best of every conference, of every strategy, of every certification, of every loophole that I have tried to jump through in order to get the outcomes that I know that you're trying to achieve. So between Powell Studio, Powell Studio Academy, we have delivered and compacted pathways, precision methods that align with what your goals are. This episode was so fun for me. I think about, me as a coach. I know so many things and people hire me all the time, but I am still actively paying for a coach. I need someone to hold me accountable. I need someone to make sure that I don't put myself last. And being able to bring this permission for people to not feel like a failure because they need someone to support them, or to give up on that frustrating space of needing to do it alone and not getting to the other side. I'm done with that. No matter how much you know, it could always be to another level. You can always do it better. You can always be more efficient. You can always have more support. People are lonely, and doing it alone gives us room for excuses. If you're ready to move forward with more clarity and less frustration, surround yourself with the right people. Powell Studio are your people. We are actively living growth in business, wellness, and relationships. Give yourself permission to not do it alone.